Yes, I will, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem Danielle Lucas. Councilmember Theron Suvarna.
Here.
Councilmember Laura Deslitz, absent. Councilmember James Dodd.
Here.
Councilmember Brianna Bundy.
Here.
Councilmember Randy Gross.
Here.
Thank you.
First up, we have the approval of the minutes of our previous meeting, our regular meeting on June 22nd, and our budget workshop meeting on June 22nd.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
I'll support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, minutes pass. Patty, could you add to the meeting minutes from tonight that Councilmember Deslitz had a previous commitment, and I suggested that she stick with that because this was a different type of meeting, so she'll be monitoring from away, so
I will, Mayor. Thank
thank you. I'd also like to take a second to welcome you all to our city council meeting. I'm sure some of you have never been to a council meeting. How many people live in the city? Anybody? Okay. Thank you for showing up tonight. We really appreciate it. For some of you that haven't been to a council meeting, how this meeting is going to work, we have an agenda. We're going to follow our agenda. And at the end of that agenda, after we're done with our business, we've asked Hyperscale Data to come up, and they're going to talk for a few minutes. And after they talk, we're going to have public comment. Public comment will be 3 minutes. At the end of your 3 minutes, your mic will shut off so that we can keep going. We do have quite a number of people that want to speak. So one thing that I've been really proud of about our council meetings, whether they were, maybe the temperature was a little high, one thing that has always happened is we've had respect and courtesy for whoever was speaking. And when that didn't happen, even the audience was not in favor of that. So let's be true to Dowagiac tonight. Let's have a good night of listening. Hopefully we'll learn some things, and we'll have a better understanding of what's going on in our community, okay? All right. Also, we have a big event Saturday. We have a festival going on downtown, so I hope to see you all downtown Saturday. And I thought, Kevin and I thought it would be a good idea to start off with some good news, right, Kevin?
Yeah, we've got 2.7 million pieces of good news tonight. Just this past week, we got notification from the state that we are now going to be in receipt of another 2.7 million in grant money to help with lead service line replacement in the community. This is, I appreciate that. You know, and I think maybe I just want to take off on that for a second or two. Since we had that notification several years ago about the lead service lines and needed to go to work on it, City Council has really gone to work hard on it. And as a matter of fact, over the last 3 years, we have received over $4 million in grant. Almost all of that's been 100% match. We've got less than about $600,000 to $700,000 of our own ratepayers' money into this particular project. At the conclusion of where we're at next year, we will have been in a position to do nearly 500 replacements of lines. So I think we've made yeoman's work towards this. There's still a lot of work to do, but we're on a good path, and I think there's 2.7 million reasons to celebrate on that this week.
Great, that's great news, thank you. All right, let's get on to the meeting here. First up, we have a board and commission appointment, the Cemetery Tree Board. I'm recommending that we nominate Elizabeth Mamamani to be on the board. I'm going to turn it over to Danielle.
Mayor Bakeman, I recommend that we appoint Elizabeth Mamani to the Cemetery Tree Board. Her application exhibits all the requirements needed for this appointment.
I'll make that motion. I'll make that motion.
And I'll support it.
Can you call the roll, please?
Yes, I will. Councilmember Randy Gross.
Yes.
Councilmember Brianna Bundy.
Yes.
Councilmember James Dodd.
Yes.
Councilmember Theron Suvarna.
Yes.
Thank you.
Theron, do you have any questions tonight? No. Councilmember Bundy?
I do not, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem
No
Lucas?
questions tonight.
Councilmember Gross?
No, thank you.
Councilmember Dodd?
I'm good.
All right. All right. Comments from the audience. I don't think we have any on the agenda, so we'll just move on. Ordinances. First reading of ordinance number 2026-03. An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance map of the city of Dowagiac to rezone the property located at 5632 Pokagon Street as C3 General Business District. Kevin, would you like to let everyone know what's going on with this?
Sure, this is a long-standing business in the community. Division Tire has purchased some property from the city and has gone before the Planning Commission for rezoning of that property so that they can build a new facility. And so they've got site plan approval now, and this would be the last two stages, first and second reading of this ordinance, so that they can move forward on an additional investment in the community.
Do we have any questions or comments?
Motion to approve it.
I support.
Patty, could you call the roll, please?
It stays on the table for
Oh, it
2
stays on the table? Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yes,
We're
I
just
will, Mayor.
we're excited to break ground.
Councilmember
Oh,
Dodd.
no, Patty, we're going
With the first reading,
Yeah.
it stays on the table until next meeting. We'll have the second reading, and then we'll take the vote on it.
That's,
Yep.
okay, so
Yep.
we're good.
Yep,
Thank
we're
you.
good. Thank you.
So we'll move on to action items. Council will be asked to award the bid for South Front Street Park improvement to BG Construction. Here's another one that Kevin will give an explanation on.
Yeah, this is another project that's been in the works for a number of years. Right now, people can see that there's a lot of work going on South Front Street, that there's reconstruction taking place there. Again, a large amount of grant money is going towards that reconstruction of that road. This fall, we are now set to see some significant improvements, the Phase 1 improvements to the South Front Street Park. Optimus Park, Lions Park, it's had a number of names over the years. There'll be playground equipment, there'll be ADA accessible walkways in through there, there will be access to the water and a kayak launch, and well, that bridge that's there has a historic feel and quality to it. It is broken now, and we will be replacing that as part of the overall project. The project itself is $516,000 and change, $491,000 and change, of which $300,000 we've received grant monies for on this project.
Do I have a motion?
I make the motion.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Council next will be asked to approve the purchase of 303 North Front Street from the Cass County's tax foreclosure process, excuse me.
Yeah, as we've taken a look at that piece of property over the last number of years, there's been a lot of nuisance violation claims on it, a lot of cleanup work that has happened, and then it occurs over and over again. This property is up for tax foreclosure. This will give council probably the most direct and least expensive way to get that back and either demolished or back on the market back on the market for builders to come in and reconstruct that. So we look forward to the potential of getting that area cleaned up.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Council will be asked to finalize the financing of a fire truck.
This is more of a report than an actual action that's needed here. At the last meeting, council authorized us to go out and get some proposals on financing. Huntington Bank has the best rate on that, and so we're going through the steps of getting that finished. Purchase order has been issued, and so over the next short period of time, we'll have the truck hopefully in our possession.
Good.
We still need a motion.
There's no motion that's actually necessary on that. I wasn't sure when we were putting together last week, but bond counsel has indicated that the last motion you did at your last meeting was sufficient, so I just wanted to report out that the steps are done.
Okay. Moving on. Council will be asked to pay some bills.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we pay the payroll $157,601.80. Bills of $1,667,911.10 for a grand total of $1,825,512.90, and that's my motion.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Patty, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, I will, Mayor. Councilmember Theron Savarna.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Danielle Lucas.
Yes.
Councilmember James Dodd.
Yes.
Councilmember Brianna Bundy.
Yes.
Councilmember Randy Gross.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, before we call hyperscale up, I'd just like Kevin to explain to everyone here so that you can hear it firsthand, where we started with this and where we're at today as the city is concerned.
So
So Kevin, if you could give them a briefing on that, please.
Sure. About 4 to 5 years ago, Hyperscale Data Inc., through its affiliate Alliance Cloud, began operations at 415 East Prairie Run. The property is zoned for heavy industrial use, and their use of the property is allowed. The water and sewer use for this has been minimal, as they've used alternate cooling systems than what you see on some of the large-scale ones. This is not part of the city's electric utility. It's custom of I&M, and so I think it does not have an impact on the city's electric utility. About a year ago, Hyperscale Data began issuing a series of press releases promoting their growth hopes and plans for this facility. No application was submitted then, and other than the water tower demolition permit that we saw go down recently, no expansion permit has been submitted for city review right now. Public interest in this facility grew significantly, and council began preparation for the possible time of a permit application. That preparation included spending time and going to seminars with Dr. Sarah Mills of the University of Michigan, who works on land use and has reports on data centers. Dr. Chris Kobus of Oakland University, a mechanical engineer, and who could give us some better understanding of these facilities and how they operate. Strong review of the water ordinance and reaffirmation that no wells are allowed in the city for private use per this ordinance. And sewer ordinance that has an industrial discharge permits and monitoring requirements. We reviewed the zoning code for buffering and all of those types of pieces and found that those were all in strong position. The one area that we did take a look at and did some amending on was the noise ordinance. The old ordinance did not have any specific decibel limits. The new ordinance, developed based on other Michigan communities, it set a decibel level at the property lines of residential districts of 65 decibels during the day, 55 at night. After taking some multiple readings, City has issued a notice of violation. In response to that, Hyperscale is challenging some of those readings and methodologies, and we're working through some of those things as we speak. City attorney is now reviewing next enforcement pieces. In April, Mayor Bakeman called for Hyperscale Data to share their plans with the city and the neighborhood. Tonight's meeting is that opportunity that we will all have to directly hear from the leadership of Hyperscale Inc. And tonight's meeting is also an opportunity for Hyperscale Data Inc. to hear from the community. So that's what the meeting is here for, and this is what our opportunity to do tonight.
At that meeting with Hyperscale, I asked them to do 3 things. I asked them to go meet their neighbors, which I understand that they're trying to do that, and they have met some of the neighbors. I asked them to come to a council meeting, which they are doing tonight. I asked them to communicate with the community, which I saw that they had a letter in the paper. And I asked them to be a good neighbor. So with further ado, Hyperscale, please, representatives, if you'd like to come on up. Yeah, you can sit at the table so everyone can see it. Thank you.
How loud is this?
Just lean into it a little bit, you should be good.
Hello? There you go. So, good evening, and thank you, Mayor Beckman, and members of the council, and everyone who has taken time to come here this evening. My name is Will Horn. I am the CEO of Hyperscale Data, and we operate the data center. Full disclosure, I hate public speaking, and nothing gets me going more than that. And I say that because although we're going to we prepared a few comments. Really, we're here to listen to the community and hear what your concerns are and your grievances. I don't know if we'll solve anything tonight, but you have our commitment that we'll work with you. I know there's a lot of other places you could be tonight, You have jobs, families, plenty of other places you could be. And the fact that you're here tonight tells me how much this is important to you. I apologize. Alliance Cloud Services builds and operates the kind of technology infrastructure more and more of this country and the economy is running on. But before I talk about where we're headed, I want to talk about where we started, because what we're building today is only the latest chapter in a much longer story. It's an incredible story. It's an American one. Long before anyone talked about data centers or robotics, this was a place where people built things with their hands, and that spirit never really left. This was a hub of heavy industry, and at its peak, hundreds of people worked in what is now the data center. National Copper closed in 2008, and we arrived in 2021. The site at that time was a business incubator and a temporary storage site. We looked at it and we saw something worth investing in. And for 5 years, we've done exactly that. We've acquired the facility, we've put it back to work, and we've hired from here in Dowagiac. At the time, I think there was about 3 people who worked in the facility. Now there's about 25. We have aspirations to grow it significantly more than where we're at today. And I say that because jobs are important to the economy. They're not the most fundamental thing that's important. Family is, but everybody knows if there's not an opportunity to have a good job, people go elsewhere. And I think that ends up destroying the fabric of communities and families. I enlisted in the Marine Corps out of high school, and I served 4 years in an infantry unit. And I was honorably discharged as a sergeant. I put myself through college, I worked full-time, I raised a family, and I lived paycheck to paycheck, like many people here. I want something better for my kids, and I'm sure everybody here wants something better for theirs.
How is this better for our community?
Hey, let the man speak. He came here to speak, let him speak. You'll have your chance too.
You'll let us know when he's done talking, right?
I think you'll figure it out when he's done talking.
Yeah. God, I hope so.
Please continue, sir.
I've spent my life believing in what this country can build when it decides to invest in its people. That's what Dowagiac represents to us. This is a place that knows how to make things. The skills that built furnaces and made copper tubing didn't disappear when the plant closed down in 2008. That kind of know-how does not leave. It's what we call industrial muscle memory, and Dowagiac has it in abundance. When we invested in Dowagiac, we knew that the future of American technology could be built here, not on some faraway coast, but right here in Southwest Michigan, by people from Southwest Michigan. That's something we are proud of, and I think that the entire community can be proud of. We understand we have a responsibility to be a good neighbor. And that's mattered to us since we arrived here 5 years ago now. And that's why I'm here tonight. We've heard questions and concerns from the community about our operations, specifically about the noise levels. And I wanted to leave plainly what we plan on doing and what we do today. We run computers, and as many people probably know, we run, right now, cryptocurrency mining computers. We're transitioning away from cryptocurrency mining, and we're going to be focusing on AI computing technology. And for some time, we've been undertaking that operational transition. We also plan on bringing in advanced robotics into the facility. A few weeks ago, we signed a long-term contract with a California-based cloud provider, and they are going to be running AI computing at the facility. To bring it online, we're retrofitting the facility. All of the cryptocurrency mining machines will be turned off, and we will be investing more than $100 million in that facility. A significant amount of that money will be spent on local contractors, local vendors. It's not all equipment like chillers that you order from some big company in a state that you don't care about. We're also doing something else that nobody else is doing in this country. Through a partnership with one of the world's most advanced robotics manufacturers, we're developing and training a new generation of advanced robotics right here. More than 100,000 square feet of the facility is being dedicated to training these robots and the data behind them. It's going to be processed, it's not going to be sent overseas, it's going to be kept here to make the robots smarter effectively. We expect over the next 3 years we could be growing our workforce potentially up to 500 people. And I believe that will open up new opportunities for Dowagiac and its residents. Again, we only employ approximately 25 today, but that was 5 years ago. The new roles that we'll be bringing in for the robotics side of it, it's going to be engineers, it's going to be data specialists, it's going to be operations staff, and then there's going to be some lower level positions. It will be a mix, and it will give some people their first opportunity to have a real job in a technical career. But our operational transition isn't about what we do, it's how we do it. When we invest in our facility, a significant amount of the money is spent right here. Our facility, again, is 617,000 square feet. About 60,000 square feet of that is being retrofitted for the AI data center portion of it, for one customer that we signed a few weeks ago. And 100,000 square feet will be dedicated to the robotics division. That means there's still 450,000 square feet, and that means work for local contractors and crews in the future years, in addition to the people that we expect to employ here. Everything I just described is happening. It's not hypothetical. Just recently, we spent $100,000, as Mayor Bateman alluded to, taking down an old water tower. That water tower was built in the 70s, and candidly, it was just an eyesore. We brought Michigan labor in to do that, and our engineering and electrical partners are Southwest Michigan companies too. We choose local, and we try and keep the dollars in where we operate. It just makes a better place for everybody. Right now, we pay local taxes like everybody else, and that figure is going to grow in the coming years as we continue to expand the operations. Our most recent building permit, which we are weeks away from submitting, will probably cost us $300,000 just to submit the permit. And that's money that goes into the local coffers. As we move in the next chapter, we're upgrading the systems inside our building to newer technology. And one of the clearest examples is how we handle the water. Today, our operations use no more water than an ordinary office building would. And that's not going to change. The new cooling system we're putting in will run on a fully closed loop, which means they're recirculating the same water, and they're not discharging that water and creating any environmental protection issues. The system costs more than the alternatives, but it's an easy choice. We get our power directly from Indiana, Michigan Power, which Mr. Anderson just said a few minutes ago. We don't get it from the city. And that's the same setup that National Copper, which used more power than all Dowagiac. Because we're fed independently, our growth doesn't run the risk of overwhelming the city's grid. And that means the homes and the businesses don't have to worry about that. Now, I want to talk to you directly about the sound levels, because this is probably the most pressing concern. I live close to an interstate, and in the evenings, if I go out there with my iPhone and take a decibel reading, it's between 65 and 70 decibels. That's louder than what the facility is currently. And I don't like it. So anything that we can do to decrease the sound level, we're going to. We will work with the neighbors on Louis Avenue, and we will try and make them happy.
You choose to live there.
We've operated this facility again for 5 years. And it's only now, recently, that we understand that there was a concern in the community. And that's really in the last, I'll call it 5 or 6 months. And I'm not trying to say that to dismiss anyone's concerns. I experience the same issues when I sit on my deck. But because I think it matters about how we talk about this. I also think it matters, and it's worth mentioning, that there are other industrial facilities nearby that also produce sound. We shut down our entire facility last week, and we had sound engineers come in, and they set up in 4 different locations to check out the sound over a 24-hour period. And on the Louis Avenue side that borders our property, those sound readings were close to 50 decibels. If you go to the other side of the property, where we border with Creative Foam, it was closer to mid-60s. And that's with our facility shut down, no operations whatsoever. So, although I recognize that there is sound for the people on Louis Avenue, and we will go through and we will help mitigate that sound and reduce it and address other grievances and concerns, there's only so much we can do because we're only generating a portion of the sound levels. Just a few weeks ago, we completed, I think as probably everybody in this room knows, a purchase of about 48 acres. That was the Bob Walker property.
That's not 48 acres.
Can you let the man speak? Thank you.
We purchased this property for 2 reasons. One, the old facility, prior to us owning it, had contaminated the water of the soil. So there was an EPA monitoring plan, a remediation plan, if you will. And there were wells on Mr. Walker's property, and he didn't like it. He came over and spoke to us about it, and although it took some time, we agreed to acquire the property, and we closed on it last month. Now that property, if you've seen it, it's generally covered by a lake. There's wetlands issues, and there's some forested area. The actual development ability for that parcel is very, very limited. We didn't acquire it because we plan on putting another building out there or throwing generators out there. We really acquired it because we wanted to make Bob happy, and we wanted to create a natural buffer and make sure that that natural buffer was maintained. As we move forward with our plans, being mindful of this community and our neighbors on Louis Avenue, they're going to be part of every decision we make, or I should say, yes. My goal is to try and focus on the concerns and the grievances of those that live closest to us, which, again, are those that border the property on Louis Avenue. any sound noise that comes from our facility or Creative Foam or anything in that vicinity, it directly affects them first, right? If they're happy, I figure we've made a big step in correcting the concerns or addressing the concerns that this community has. And that's not just a sentiment. It's why we have decided to offer to buy these homes on Louis Avenue. Now, I'm not trying to force anybody to sell, but if somebody is living on Louis Avenue and they feel that even after we go through and recondition the facility, put in sound measures, try and block the sound from Creative Foam and from our activities, plant trees, put up sound barrier walls. If they still aren't happy and feel that their home isn't enjoyable, then we'll buy their property from them and we'll offer them fair value and we'll help cover the moving costs. Again, I'm not trying to force anybody out. The homes don't do me a lot of good, but I don't want somebody to, I don't want them to feel like they're trapped and we're the cause of it. When Mayor Bateman and city leadership reached out to talk through the concerns that have been made and raised, we didn't hide from that conversation. We welcomed it and we're grateful for it. That kind of direct, honest back and forth is exactly what's needed here. We have a dedicated email line, and that was on the handout as well as a phone number if anybody wants to contact us and talk about their grievances away from this meeting. So I'm going to jump back to where I started from. I hate public speaking, and I think everybody in this room can probably acknowledge I'm not very good at it. I want to hear from everybody. That's why you're here. And I know it can be intimidating talking in front of a crowd. It does intimidate me. It scares the crap out of me. But, I urge you to tell me what your problems are with the facility and give us an opportunity to try and address them. Thank you.
All right, thank you for speaking. We're going to move on to comments from the audience. I'm going to call you up. You'll get 3 minutes to speak. Please come up. We're going to ask you to spell your last name. We're going to ask you to give your address, your full address. If you don't want to do that, the mic's not going to come on. It's going to go in the record for transparency. Okay? I'm going to call 5 of you up at a time so that you can kind of be in order so that we're not waiting long periods of time for people. So we could have Ruth Ozra, Monica Luke, Lisa Malloy, Samantha Murphy, and Junior Oliver. Junior Oliver.
You just want me to start. So, good evening. My name is Monica Luke, but I'm speaking on behalf of my aunt, who is Ruthie Ozra. She is out of town tonight and can't make it back in time for this evening's meeting. So she.
Excuse me, Monica. Could you give your name and your spell your last name for Patty and give the address for us, please? So
Mine are Ruthie's.
Well, you're speaking on your behalf, even though she's not here. So you're speaking. So
I'm Monica Luke, L-U-K-E, and I live at 312 Oak Street, Dowagiac.
thank you.
Yep. My name is Ruth Ozra. My husband Terry and I live just outside of the city limits on Yaw Street. Our home is about 2 miles from the proposed site of the expansion. Dowagiac is our hometown where we have chosen to build our business and raise our children. Our children are raising our grandchildren here. As council members, you were elected to represent your constituents and their needs. How many of you have reached out by having an open forum in your ward to determine what your constituents want? The best way to make this decision is to have a special election and let the people of Dowagiac vote. If the outcome is for the expansion, then so be it. Voters in Monterey, California just voted to ban data centers from their town. Let's have a vote here in Dowagiac as well. As council members, you you are letting the people of Dowagiac down. Dowagiac is a grand old city. I feel this expansion will ruin the town of Dowagiac. The surrounding areas will also suffer dire consequences. Allowing the expansion makes no sense. It just doesn't add up. Something is amiss. I do believe all council members live 1/4 mile to 1 mile from the proposed site. Do you really want this for your beautiful hometown? Many of you seated at this table have also chosen Dowagiac, your hometown, to build your businesses and raise your families. Do you want them exposed to this? Until next time, thank you, Ruth Osra.
Thank you.
And then here's mine. So my question to everybody here, raise your hand if you're terrified of what this will do. I feel like this is a very Aaron Brockovich kind of situation, and I see where you're coming from. I'm a teacher, and don't kill me, I love AI. And I use it all the time in my classroom, so I feel very conflicted in what's happening. I see the future, but I also see what's happening. I'm 4/10 of a mile from hyperscale right now. I live across from an elementary school right now. But I, like them, am terrified. What's going to happen to our water? What's going to happen to the animals in our city? What's going to happen? There was a lady who had spoken, she lives on Louise, and she said that her headaches had increased. I'm a headache sufferer. I can hear the noise right now. What happens when it's 30 times louder and it's worse? Am I going to have a headache every day? Am I going to be so debilitated I can't go to work anymore? So I'm conflicted, but you keep talking about the future, which I see as well. I don't think we can get past that though, because we think we'll be dead. Because we'll all end up with cancer or something like the Aaron Brockovich story, where the whole town ended up with cancer or whatever it was, because they were poisoned by the money. And I think that's where the fear and the anger is coming from all of us.
Thank you. One thing I forgot to mention, if there's any questions that the city feels like we need to respond to, we will at the end of all the speakers, and I'll give Mr. Horn and Mr. Stewart a chance to respond to if they feel they need to. Next up, we've got Samantha Murphy.
M-U-R-P-H-Y, I live at 206 Jump Street, and I'm just going to read what I wrote. Your deck is not our community. You chose to live near an interstate. That noise has grown. I live in my home for over a decade, and I hear it in my backyard. I did not hear it prior to last year. Who does the city purchase their electricity from? Environmental protection agencies recommend outdoor limits 45 to 55 dBA. Consistent exposure to that noise disrupts sleep and is linked to several chronic stress, hypertension, and cognitive impairments in children. Are you aware of this? Data centers rely on massive grids and backup diesel and gas-powered generators to prevent outages. Routine testing and continuous operation of these units release high levels of fine particle matter and nitrogen oxide. The Howard T.H. Klang School of Public Health details how this pollution significantly increased rates of asthma, cardiovascular disease, and related health issues to associated communities. Is that true? Because the heat generates massive computed operations, data centers require millions of gallons of water for cooling, as explored in the Scientific Direct. This heavy consumption can exacerbate local water insecurities, degrade water quality, and indirectly contribute to poor maternal and infant health outcomes in drought-stressed regions. Are you aware of this research? Are you aware of the city's ordinance related to noise? And if you are you being cited daily for the violation? Louise Avenue and the streets surrounding my house are zoned residential. Let's discuss the harassment of people who walk and live in that community. Let's also discuss how someone patrolling public streets and asking other citizens if he can help them on an illegal form of motor transportation. Do our laws in Dowagiac not apply to you? General rule from Dowagiac. It is illegal to cause or permit any unreasonable or unnecessary loud noise or disturbance that causes the peace, quiet, or health of residents. Nuisance means whatever annoyance, injury, or endangers the safety, health, comfort, or repose of the community. Everything that is happening there is in a direct effect of that. I go in my backyard with my grandchildren and all we do is hear the humming. If you're meeting the neighbors, you're not going far enough out. I also have family that lives on Louise. I understand that some of the Michigan tax breaks have specific rules as it relates to data centers, one of them being neighborly. I'm concerned about what neighborly really looks like from your perspective in the cities as it surrounds. Will you be exercising the Michigan tax exempt? Some of the other data centers, Microsoft, Google, have agreed to pay the cost for water and electricity, so it's not effective.
Thank you. Lisa Malloy.
Good evening. Lisa Malloy. Because of safety and security concerns, I really don't want to give my full address. I live on Hotel Parkway in Dowagiac. I'm disappointed that Mr. Alt didn't find it important enough to grace us with his presence tonight. I do think it's really important to be here. Apparently, he didn't. Grateful that you did show up and you served. Met you at the other council meeting. Mr. Alt and Mr. Horn, your reputations precede you. Not exemplary, not even good. There are so many fine disciplines, security exchange, commission sanctions, civil lawsuits, regulatory findings, shareholder complaints, the list goes on. Anyway, that being said, why should the community believe everything you say? Any of the promises that you make? Why should they? Many questions. How did you arrive at the number of jobs? 500 jobs. How did you calculate that? That would be interesting to know. Alt talked about liquid cooling, not water, with a chemical on an Instagram feed he did. And I'd like to know what the coolant is. And do you have material safety data sheets on there? And what are the hazards of that coolant? And what happens when it doesn't cool anymore? How do you dispose of it? And how do you remove it? So you're now transitioning from Bitcoin to AI and robots. And I understand that the robots require, and the AI require so much more power. Do you have a power purchase agreement with Indiana Power already? So are the robots Chinese products? Because I know that there are some regulations about that. And you have to adhere to them. So are they registered with the governing bodies? And then the last thing, I guess, is who do you have in place that can handle all of the requirements of compliance? And what are their credentials? Because we'd like to be safe. We don't want to find out in 3 months or 6 months or a year that you guys have gone belly up or something has happened and they've done the switcheroo thing and we're left holding the bag in the community. That's it.
Thank you. Junior Oliver. And then if we could have Kate Whitehall, Carlin Morris, David Alm, Lois Cole, and Barb Groner. Thank you.
Junior Oliver, OLIVER, Chestnut Street, Dowagiac. My concerns more are the views that I've smelled there when I go to visit neighborhoods, because I have relatives that live in that neighborhood, and they already have health issues, so I'm wondering if them views are going to create more problems just like our past speaker said, about the chemicals that you use to clean, to cool with. I've had a big discussion with Kevin Anderson already on this, but at first I thought you were going to go and lower our water table, so I had concern with the environment, because this city is noted for tree growth, and if anything causes that ground table level, groundwater table level to lower, that means we're going to have longer tap roots for our trees and everything else. So that will create a problem with the growth of our natural stuff. And I'm really big on nature. I respect nature just like it's God, because it's His creation. And I don't like the idea that you might somehow, when you use your chemicals, somehow they may spill, get under the building, whatever. I personally helped to set up an air system when the other factory was there that contaminated the ground, and we used air to go contamination out under the floor, and 2 ponds that had been filled in there. I went there one time and I caught a bass, and it was so gold, it just looked like a goldfish. And that kind of stuff concerns me. And I know from talking with Kevin, the EPA said that ground is not contaminated now. But I'm really concerned about what's going to happen in the future, because I have over 50 years of experience myself with computers, and I was one of the first people to operate a IBM 1401 when they come out to the public. And there's a lot of dangers in that, and I just want my concerns looked at. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you. Kate Whitehall.
Kate Whitehall, WHITEHALL, 508 Green Street, in Duarte. First off, I'd like to thank the City Council for letting us know about the noise monitoring you've been performing, and the fact that Hyperscale is out of compliance and is not taking responsibility for the noise nuisance that they are causing 24/7. So to Hyperscale here, this is our chance for everyone here to direct our questions and comments to you. Despite your amusing piece of creative writing, which you published in the paper on Saturday, you are not a good neighbor. You have created a massive noise and vibration nuisance. You know it. You are required to fix it. Trying to buy out our neighbors isn't a solution. It just pushes the problem into the next neighborhood. And I just have to say, I've been in Seattle, Washington, for 20 years next to I-5, which is Interstate 5. This is the main freeway through Seattle. It is nothing like what our neighbors are having to push. It ebbs and flows. It's quiet at night. I know, I'm sorry, but it's not the same. Anyway, my 43 acres of undeveloped land is a buffer. It was already a buffer. Why do you need to own it? And it seems like the money you spent could have been better used to mitigate your noise and vibration nuisance. Why should we believe anything you say or promise when you can't even be a good neighbor and follow a simple noise ordinance? And I have to wonder how a company that their stock is a penny stock is 12.5 cents a share, with negative earnings per share, is going to find $100 million to do anything here. The bottom line here is that you are not a good neighbor. Your business is sneaky, uncooperative with local ordinances, and dismissive of Dowagiac's concerns regarding the impact of the noise from your current Bitcoin mining operation. There is absolutely no reason for us to think that your expansion would be anything but more noise, more pollution, and using more than your share of our water and power resources. We do not believe anything you say or promise. Prove to us that you really want to be a good neighbor and be white.
Thank you. Carolyn Morris.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Morris. That's C-A-R-L-Y-N. I live at 408 Michigan Avenue. To the City Council, thank you so much for speaking out and providing how we have arrived here, letting us know that you are monitoring the noise ordinance. I'm grateful for this communication. I hope it will continue. As a 30-year digital and social marketer, I have built a career on guiding Fortune 100 to 500 companies on how important it is to own your own story and your narrative, or someone else will. Being honest and transparent is what we deserve. Please don't let our wishes for our town die in your silences. As for hyperscale, I agree with Kate's statement. We don't trust you. Many of us question your business tactics, and I question your marketing speak. Relying on the industrial muscle memory of Michigan? Really? These are AI centers. They are nothing like manufacturing. You aren't even in the same group. That's an insult. You stated there'll be tech and engineering jobs. Of course, we expected that, right? There is no proof of any AI data center that has ever created massive amounts of non-tech and engineering jobs. That will not happen here, and we do not believe you. You are a former member of the military. Thank you for your service. And you say, well, you know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. You put this in the letter in the paper. Sir, if I may, that is sales 101. Try to find a common ground with your target audience to build a relationship, right? No, I've been in sales for many years. Again, we see through the facade and assess to the lack of trust we have with you to be a good neighbor. You admit there's a sound problem. Thank you. And you say you'll fix it. But the ultimate solution is to buy people out. That is not a good neighbor. You say you will not impact our water and electrical prices. Would you be a good neighbor? It's not a legal document agreeing to hefty fines should you break that agreement. The same agreement would be if you destroyed our environment. And in paying those fees, agree to shut down your facility because you broke our trust again. And lastly, this is great. If you think this is such a great idea for Dowagiac, why haven't you built it in your own backyard to impact your own family?
Thank you. David Alm. Thank you.
And hold this simultaneous. I don't want to talk to you guys for equal as hell. So, to the council.
Can you spell your last name and give your address, please? Thank you.
David William Alm Jr. A-L-M. So I've been standing outside.
Do you live here?
You still on Michigan Avenue?
I never claimed Michigan Avenue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I
125 Lyle.
Have we done any questions? Anywho.
What's that? 125 Lyle.
Oh, yeah. Back to what I was getting at. Sorry about that intervention. I don't want to talk to you guys. I want to talk to you guys. So, Ms. Clerk, when did your job become a temporary position? I would like to know why it is that the last time the minutes were posted was 5/22. I had submitted to the clerk's office a document and an addendum that I don't see in those minutes that were not actually produced until today. Anybody else find that alarming? Yes. Oh, they find that alarming too. Interesting. And Pat, I don't really know you that well, brother. I'm sorry that if I discouraged some of your traffic or whatever standing outside of there, it wasn't intentional. I wasn't targeting you. I'm just standing up for the people who are not standing up. But unfortunately, I think they're raveling together. It's an amazing concept that they love their city. And you guys don't seem to even care. Do you notice that when I served you that notice, you guys didn't read it? I bet you still haven't read it. Bet you never looked at it, have you? You guys are silent. I'm not looking at these guys. So, what I want to tell you is welcome to Dowagiac, Michigan. We're Dowagiac chieftains, not dumbasses.
Lois Cole.
Hello, everybody. Lois Cole, because listening to you, your solution to the noise problem is buying out houses on Lee Street. Well, then that leaves a little extra acreage open for you to expand your operation, and that would also expand the problem to the neighboring streets. So the big problem with data centers is the amount of power that it takes to run them. And although it may not be, we may not see our local rates go, the power that it's going to take to generate sorry, I should have wrote something on Ontario like this, just like anyway, obviously it's not anything. But in order to generate the amount of power that you need, it's probably going to come from fossil fuels and not anything sustainable, which creates another problem altogether. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Next up, we have Barbara Groner, and then if we could have Jennifer Jasper, Gerald Dodd, John Valdez, Bonnie Latourette, and Janice Hadley.
Barbara Groner. I'm out on Fairlane Drive, which is outside the city limits, but within a mile as the crow flies from the hydroscape plant. You have my exact address on my registration there. While I'm not presently a resident within the city limits, I am very involved in this community. I have been to several city council meetings within the last 6 months to learn more about the problems associated with this new business. There have not been any answers. The city government response has been, we have not been informed. To me, that's been a lack of transparency by the company or the board. The only thing I know is what I've heard when I go down Louise Avenue and what I've heard from people that live near there. Last weekend, because of your article, your letter in the newspaper, which I now find out was at the request of the board, and it did take a whole page, and I took time and carefully read it. It sent me to the computer to see what more I could find out about your company. It sounds to me like the board wants you to be a good neighbor, but you don't know about being a good neighbor. After researching your company, you even have multiple names. Alliance Cloud Services, Hyperscale Data, and it goes on back from there. I'm not sure your company knows how to be a good neighbor. Neighbors adjacent to the data center have tried to telephone, email, and otherwise contact the company, and they say they get no answers, no replies of any type. Now, in your letter, it sounds like you can't wait to hear from them, but that's only after it's been 6 months of them trying to get your attention. The company has yet to become a member of our greater Dowagiac Chamber of Commerce. I checked this on the website. I looked under both names, nothing there. It would have been a neighborly thing to do to show you want to be part of our community by joining the Chamber of Commerce. A new industrial business in the town of Cassopolis, which is 7 miles away, is a member of our Chamber of Commerce. I am sad for our residents in town that we're enduring this. My computer sent me also to the name Milton Todd Alt II, the original purchaser, who is known as acquiring undervalued businesses. He is also known for wiping out previous retail shareholders. He has rebranded his flagship public vehicle at least 4 times. He has filed for personal bankruptcy. He has been suspended by the Federal Industrial Regulatory Authority and sanctioned by the Securities and Exchange Commission, a U.S. federal agency that regulates securities markets.
Thank you. Jennifer Jasper.
Jennifer Jasper, Jasper. I live at 508 Green Street in Dowagiac. Hello. I, as well, was pretty insulted by the Good Neighbor letter that was published earlier this week. I quote, "You heard concerns from some of the residents about sound levels in the area." Concerns? I'm sorry, what I've heard more are complaints, fears, anger, and desperation. I do have many other concerns about the expansion that have been stated by others, so I won't be asking about those. However, I did grow up with the adage, actions speak louder than words. My first question to you, what specific actions have you taken other than purchasing land and claiming it as a buffer? So, what other actions other than words and real estate deals have you done to mitigate the sound? My second question comes in two parts. You speak of a new system prior to the expansion. Will you be including studies and impact reports from other locations that provide solid proof that this would resolve the concerns? And if not, what actions would be taken? And secondly, while this new system is put into place, I'm assuming the current fans will be running and generators. So what's the actual timeline for any significant decrease in the current sound and vibration levels, which I understand now, thank you, Council, are grossly out of compliance? And from what I understand from you, sir, is that you responded to the council's whatever, telling you that you were out of compliance. You responded by bringing in your own people to take their measurements and probably had a lawyer in the room. So while you answer the question, what are you going to do, I'll wait. We'll all wait. Thank you.
Thank you. Gerald Dodd.
My name is Gerald Dodd. I live at 401 Louise Avenue. My problem right at the moment is the noise. I'm not against AI. I think it's our future. We just got to learn how to control it. You said that the noise was bad on the highway. If you lived with what we live in, Mr. Stewart knows, he was there, he heard it. It's terrible. It's not like a highway. I worked in the automotive business turning brake drums on big diesel trucks, and that singing noise that comes off of those drums in a closed room is what you experience. I think AI is here to stay. I don't think anybody's going to run it out, but we need to have something done about the noise, something that we can measure. Mr. Alt had a thing on YouTube where he had a video, said that the factory that was there before us was noisier than what this is. That's not true. I'm 78 years old. I've lived in that neighborhood for all 78 years. I've lived in this house for 56 years. The house is 110 years old or more. It's what we wanted when we moved in. It's what we had. We have property in back. It's all woods. We can't go back there and enjoy it. The animals have not come up into the yard except for squirrels and birds. My wife does gardening. We have no butterflies or bees. They're just a fraction of what used to be there. I'd like to see the noise be taken care of. And as far as buying out houses, you'd have to give me 3 times the cost of my house in order for me to be satisfied. The house is what we want. I'm not moving. I don't want to be bought out. Mr. Stewart said he wouldn't want to be in that situation either. So my thing is the electricity, you're getting it from I&M. I'm on I&M. I'm 66 feet from the property. I'm looking right in that netted wall that cools the building. I hear it probably more than anybody here. I've got dogs in this fight. I worry about what it might do as far as health. The water situation worries me that you bought Bob's property. We've all played back there as kids. Our kids played back there. We know the situation. We've got a well on our property that was a test well. And they say that it's cleaned up. Well, you can't believe anything Michigan tells you either. Because the guy testing the water.
Thank you. John Valdez.
Hi, I'm John Valdez, V-A-L-D-E-S. I live on 415 Louise Avenue. I've lived there for 49 years. My wife and I have had that house down there. And I agree 100% with Jerry. It's not so much that we're against data centers. We're against the noise. The noise is just ridiculous. It's continuous, agitating, and it's at a high level. And I delivered a suggestion sheet to Mayor Lyons shortly after the noise started in 2022. And nothing on the sheet has even come close to even tried. Starting June 16th, the noise level came way down. They turned all the outside fans and all the cooling systems off on the north side. All they're doing is spitting all the noise, and the airflow is coming out from the open blocked areas on the walls down the street. They have a security car that flashes lights on the top, has orange lights flashing, and they go up and down the street every hour of the day. And first question I had was, why didn't you set up a data center in the first place in the industrial park? They have 126 acres out there. It's still in Dowagiac. It's still Dowagiac taxes. Why didn't you consider the residents when the noise continued to get louder and louder and louder? Something should have been done before it got out of sight. And then will the noise be stopping when the change of the data center and the location goes someplace else? Are you closing up? The easiest thing to me, it sounded like, would be closing up all the open cement block areas on the outside walls that cool the data processors. You have fencing to keep the air and the noise inside, and you can do that, install cooling units on a roof and treat it like a refrigerated building, like the units for food storage. That way there'd be no noise because the cooling units would be on the roof and on the east side. And most of that is really what we're on the street down there is talking is noise. We just can't stand the noise though. It's continuous 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you. Bonnie Lauderette.
Bonnie Lauterette, L-A-T-O-U-R-E-T-T-E, 209 Michigan Avenue, right here in Dowagiac. Been here for over 50 years. And I do know something about good neighbors because I have them. And I'm sorry your company hasn't shown being a good neighbor. I feel really bad for the people that are closest to your business. My husband and I looked at one of those houses and we could be one of those people. I'm concerned about the water and energy usage, but I think my most pressing concern is if you are going to enlarge that company, we have an elementary school that is just blocks away. And starting next year, we will have first and second graders, all of our first and second graders in that school close to your company. And they are just starting to do research on infra sounds, the sounds that we don't hear but cause behavior changes and can cause physical problems. So I'm really concerned about the children. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next we have Janice Hadley, and if we could have Maverick, Mitchell, and Gibbons. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Janice Hadley, 402 McPhill Drive here in Dowagiac. Mr. Stewart, I met you at the June 22nd City Council meeting and we spoke for probably 10 or 15 minutes afterwards. One of the things that has really stuck with me from our conversation is that you said we have to beat China in the AI race, that a lot of the online opposition to AI and to data centers was basically propaganda coming from China, and that a lot of people protesting about the AI data centers across the country are basically being paid by China. I haven't gotten my check yet, I don't know about you guys, but anyway, at the time when you were here, June 22nd, around that time or maybe slightly before, I know that Mr. Alt and his team were in China, in Shanghai, so I'm kind of finding that hard to square with the things that you said, trying to scare us about China, but that he is basically going into business with them with the robotics. So I find that disturbing. Mr. Horn, question I have, I've heard it said many times that your building doesn't use any more water than a standard office building, but I've yet to hear any statistics. How many gallons are you talking about? I have no idea how much an office building uses, so that would be helpful to know. I also know there are 3 wells inside of that building that have been capped, supposedly. Going forward, would you be having periodic third-party inspections to make sure that those wells still are capped and that your company isn't drawing groundwater? And the final thing is the Bob Walker property. You said you want to keep that long-term as a natural buffer, which is great. If that really is what you intend to do and you're sincere and honest about it, would you consider donating that parcel of land to the Southwest Michigan Land Conservancy? To our city officials over there, Patty, Theron, Brianna, Pat, Danielle, Randy, and Jim, and Kevin, I'm throwing you in here too. Remember, we're your constituents. Hyperscale's not your constituent. We are. We deserve transparency, we deserve to be heard, and we frankly deserve input on this. So don't turn your back on us. Mr. Alm has over 100 signed papers supporting the information that he had tried to give you guys at the last council meeting. So I hope that now you will perhaps take time to read that. Thank you.
Thank you. Garrett Maverick.
All right, that's Garrick Maverick, spelled like Top Gun, 616 Helena Street. I lead a Southwest Michigan-based civil rights nonprofit and am the first vice chair of the Cass County Democratic Party. Hyperscale, shame on you for using our public meeting to market yourselves and promote your next grift. We all know you are not here to learn. I hope the local media here has the integrity to disregard your little press release coverage so that your potential investors can throw money into your failing stocks. This is a problem of power and accountability. You will do whatever you are allowed to get away with, and it's up to us to stop you from getting away with it. This unregulated technology is harmful to our communities and to our society at large. This technology is used to surveil us, to police us, to track us. It's used to rob us of our education, to steal our jobs, and to privatize our future. You are not investors, you are invaders. You are not paving the way to a bright future. You are parasites on working people. You are not community members, you are corporate grifters in bad suits. And they certainly, listen, good neighbors do not drive out their neighbors. They don't buy more property so that they can rezone it and expand their operations in the long term. On top of that, the data center you built is by far the most useless, degenerate version of the technology. Cryptocurrency is a joke, and we all knew that like 5 years ago. What are you doing? To our city council, in January of this year, I brought a solution to our public meetings, solutions that have been ignored, so here it goes again. Classify data centers as special land uses. require impact and on water, wildlife, noise, and energy studies, minimum of a 300-foot setback from non-participating structures, and a minimum of 1,000 feet from residential districts. You must provide decommissioning plans to dismantle a facility and restore the site after it ceases operations. That's baseline. You could do this tonight. This is your problem to solve. You chose this path. I have had really great conversations with some of you on this board, but I have to say, Mayor Bakeman, your tone, your attitude, and your posture towards this issue has been unacceptable and disqualifying. You are supposed to represent Dowagiac. You are supposed to engage with Dowagiac. You're supposed to partner with Dowagiac. Your scolding, your distance, and your lack of leadership on this issue is embarrassing. Anyone can learn and anyone can change, and I sincerely hope you choose to do so tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Brett Mitchow.
Hi there, my name is Brett Mitchow, 11907 Gar Road, Buchanan. So I don't live in Dowagiac, and I'm a farmer that lives nearby, and I'm concerned about this issue because of land use. My job, my full-time job, is to protect and preserve. I'm a regenerative agriculture farmer. So I'm looking for the long-term commitments of a company in developing any type of property. But really tonight here, I'm just to listen and to learn more about this, because this is my first Dowagiac meeting about this. And I'm glad that there's so many of you here. I want to make sure residents' voices are heard, and I want to make sure that we actually have some actionable solutions that we can decide on, like some of the stuff that Garrick has mentioned. I hope Dowagiac and Hyperscale truly can actually be a model for responsible development. I know it has not started that way from what I've heard, and I think that there is room for that if there is some transparency, honesty, and accountability in their development. From tonight's meeting, I can see that it's clear that there are a lot of empty promises. I see a lot of vague statements about what's going to happen and what may happen without any really real information about what is going to happen. I see a lot of broken trust here in the public, not only with Hyperscale, but with the City Council as well. And I also see it's very obvious that if they're breaking a noise ordinance and they're not doing anything to mitigate that problem, then something needs to be done immediately, and it needs to be done by the City Council. And I wonder if they have the tools to actually enforce these noise ordinances. So I do have a few questions. What long-term commitments do we actually have in writing for the development of Bob Walker's property? What noise mitigation improvements are you going to do immediately, like this month, to improve and earn the trust back of this public? What percentage of the workers that you hired are actually local? Are they union? Are they long-term jobs? And the Future 500 that we heard about, how many of those are actually going to be local jobs? And how many are they going to be union jobs? And again, I question, does this council have the teeth to actually enforce the violations that Hyperscale is performing as we speak?
Thank you. Peter Gibbons.
Hi, Peter Gibbons. I live on Colby Street and want these submitted into the minutes. So I put my name on the list because I don't know, but I guess I was the last person to do it. I feel weird going last, but hey, everybody. I've come and I've spoken at town hall meetings, so you all probably know what I'm going to say. I think I'm just really proud to be here with you all. So many people came up and said such astute things tonight. And, you know, I was worried, you know, when I was reading that, I was like, I wonder how many people who live on Louise Street will think, oh, at least I can get out of here. Because, you know, I wanted to come up here and say, you know, if somebody's got their boot on your head and you're underwater, when they lift their boot off your head, they're not a hero. You know, so offering to buy people out of a neighborhood that they're ruining is not, it's not a kindness. You know, but I was just glad to see so many people come in here and not fooled by this hucksterism, and so yeah, I'm speaking to you all. I'm speaking to you too. This community doesn't want your expansion. This community doesn't trust a word you say, and this community has been steadfast and strong and packing city council meetings for months, standing room only. People can't get in because people want to be part of this decision. And I just want you to know this is not a community that's going to welcome you. This is not a community that's going to change its mind. This is not a community that's going to believe anything that you say. I've seen things where, you know, CEOs and stuff like that come. He comes because he's afraid. He comes because somebody has to do this, to put a face to this and try and turn a few people. But he sees the power that we have here, and he sees the movement we're growing, and this was an attempt. So keep going, Dowagiac. I hope we bankrupt them out of this project.
Thank you. Mr. Horn, Mr. Stewart, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I don't even know where to start.
What expansion?
So I appreciate everybody speaking their mind, and I understand that there's trust to be built. We are refurbishing the facility. The comment, and forgive me, I don't remember everybody's names, but the comment about the open wall where we vent or cool the existing cryptocurrency mining, that is where the bulk of the noise comes from. That wall will be sealed. It will be enclosed.
Hold on. Let him finish, please. Let him speak, okay? Give him a chance to speak.
So, thank you for the cue. In the next 3 months, all cryptocurrency mining will be shut down.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, a couple of things, thank you. The offer to purchase properties on Louise Avenue wasn't because we're trying to buy people out. It's not because we were scared. It was because we're going to put measures in that is going to reduce the noise. But we've already shut down half of the mining operations. The other half will be shut down in the next 3 months.
Okay.
Actually, the noise has changed. According to several neighbors, they've noticed a decrease in the noise.
We have some questions that we need to answer too that Kevin can speak about that were brought up during public comments there.
Sure, a couple things. One of the questions was, where does the city purchase its power from? We purchase our power from Wolverine Power. We've got about 3.5, 4 years left on that long-term contract, and then at that point we will be going out for bid and proposals for another wholesale contractor. Previously we had used AEP, but we are in a contract with Wolverine Power and have been for a little over a year now. The other question that was raised, there was some concern I think Mr. Ohm had about whether his documents had been seen, read, and done. Yes, those have been received by the city. Yes, they have gone to all council members. I've read them, and I know that most, if not all, have because they've talked to me about it. It has also been shared with the city's attorney for review. So it has been received, it has been read, and I want you to know and understand that.
Jim, do you have any questions, comments? Randy? Danielle?
I don't have any questions. I just want to comment that I appreciate everyone coming here and voicing their concerns. We are listening. We do hear you. We're just not ignoring it. But, you know, we appreciate, you know, you two coming and, you know, giving us your presentation. And we just have to take that information in consideration. We have to evaluate what the next steps are.
Councilmember Bundy?
Yes, more so just a comment tonight. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time out of their evenings to be here with us and sharing all of your thoughts. I think the overarching theme tonight was being a good neighbor, and I think at Dowagiac's core is that we are good neighbors. We have friends and family and people who have been in this city for generations. And, you know, Mr. Horn, I hope that you really listen to what the people shared tonight, and we look forward to seeing your actions following through with what you're saying. Thank you.
Councilmember Servana?
No.
No? Okay.
I'd like to make a comment, because a comment was made about the minutes. The minutes are produced within 1 day, maximum 2 after the meetings. The posting of the minutes is a responsibility outside of the clerk's office. So I felt I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all of you guys coming out tonight. I'd like to thank the middle school and Lincoln and his staff for putting this together on stage here. Thank you to the police.
It's only 7:30, it's good. Yeah.
With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'm going to stick one.
Motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and supported.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you for coming out.